We're back to the Daytona 500 post-race show. I'm Casey Campbell. You know that's Harry Loomis from whatever the hell he is, whatever the hell he does. Of course, Harry. Of course, you have your own website as well. Of course, you also write for Behind the Wall.
That's right.
Wow, that's all I got to say with this Daytona 500. Of course, if you haven't found out, Austin Cendrick, a rookie, the new driver of the number 2 discount tire Ford for Team Penske, got the Daytona 500. Oh man, but there's a lot we got to talk about this race. But let's talk about Austin Cendrick, a rookie for the first time since 2011 has won the Daytona 500. And for the first time ever, the 2 car has won the 500.
Woo!
Yes.
You know, that was I started making TikToks in the off season. That was the first one I ever made. The 2 cars never won the 500 with Rusty Wallace with Kurt Busch. They never got to the promised land. They got the second when Kurt Busch Ryan went to the win. But they never got to victory lane until this year. Austin Cendrick, a rookie who, you know, the traditionalist in me thinks that a rookie should never win the Daytona 500 because it's the most prestigious race in the world in the eyes of a NASCAR fan. But, you know, it's hard to deny that Austin Cendrick earned it, you know. He qualified well. He second in the duel, and he was up front all day. He was front with Roush guys, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, you name it. Standing up front, he was avoiding all the trouble that was happening behind him, and he stayed out of race, and he did a great job leading on that last restart, and he got the win. I never thought I'd see another rookie win this race. I thought Trevor Bayne was a fluke. Austin Cendrick did an unbelievable job getting that win.
Of course, Austin Cendrick, the 2020 Xfinity Series champion, in his first full-time season in the Cup Series this year, driving that iconic number 2 car. Well, let's talk about the other finishers in today's race. Oh, Bubba Wallace came so close, and Chase Briscoe did too.
So came from the back of the field. He had to start last because of that fatal perfection, I believe, twice. He and Daniel Hemrick had to start at the rear of the field. It's Briscoe. I thought he was going to be a playoff contender. I didn't expect Daytona to be his strong suit, but he moved up the field very quickly. Him and Connor were up in the top 10 by the end of stage 1. And the Fords really dominated this race. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were in the duels, but they proved me wrong. All of them were up front again. Chase Briscoe was right there with the shot to win at the end. Third place run, a career run for him. Very impressed, and I'm very excited to see what we can do the rest of the year.
Yep. Brian Blaney finished 4th. Eric Almirola in his final final Daytona 500 as a full-time driver comes home 5th. Kyle Busch comes home 6th. Last year's Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell comes home 7th. David Reagan, a part-time driver. I mean, he just came out. I mean, of course, he comes out of retirement and does all that stuff. Comes home 8th. Brad Keselowski, we'll get to him in a minute. He came home 9th. Chase Elliott in 10th. Also, want to give a shout out to Ty Dillon in 11th for the second Petty GMS car. And how about this? Both Spire Motorsports cars finished in the top 15. Corey LaJoie 14th, Landon Castle in 16th, and then Cody Ware finishes 17th.
That's a great run for some underdog teams. You know, Corey LaJoie's Corey LaJoie's a guy that a lot of drivers a lot of people were saying could be a dark horse pick to win the Daytona 500, you know, because he's run so well in super speedways in his career. He was running top 5 most of the day in the August race in 2021. He was never that far up for the whole race, but he stayed up, you know. There was a lot of trouble in the first stage at that end of the stage. There were a couple crashes in the first stage. Him and Landon Castle both just managed to buy their time, and they came out of it good finishes. Really good start for Spire Motorsports. You know, we keep expecting the team and Corey LaJoie to drive to build on their seasons prior, and a great stepping stone for them.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be interesting to see these smaller teams and see what we're going to see them perform out of that. But a lot of guys that were up in the field that we saw in the race really been impressive. Like, guys like how about Todd Gilliland? How about Harrison? How about the rookies? Not just Austin Cindric who won, but Harrison Burton was running up toward the front of the field, and so was Todd Gilliland for most of the race.
No, I think I mentioned this in my Twitter space. Rookies, the three of them, Austin Cindric, obviously, who won the race, was running top 5. He damn near won stage 1 before he flipped over. Todd Gilliland, top 5 to 10 all day long for most of the race before that wreck. All three of them absolutely blew me out of the water. I didn't expect any of them to run as well as they did, let alone all three of them to running top 10 as long as they did. The future of NASCAR is in great hands with those three at the helm.
Yeah. And
I'm very excited to see I'm very excited to see what these guys can do for the rest of the season.
Well,
especially Austin Cindric, who's got to win already.
Yeah. Yeah, and Austin Cindric's locked into the playoffs as a rookie, but everybody thought he'd be in anyway. I mean, he does drive and he is pretty good. He does drive for Team Penske, so yeah, it's definitely it's going to be fun for sure. Let's talk about Brad Keselowski for a sec. Boy, did he have a day today. He ran up front most of the day, but got himself in it. He got in some instances a little bit too.
Yeah, that's typical Brad Keselowski. He's going to lead a lot of laps on the super speedway, but he's also going to be right in the middle of things. He had a tendency for a long time in the late 2000s. He was either winning super speedway races or he was getting collected in the wrecks. He managed to get in both. He led the most laps today. I believe he led 67 laps during the race, but he also was involved heavily in that first wreck that caused Harrison Burton to flip upside down.
Yep.
But the future of RFK Racing is in very good hands. Keselowski led a bunch of the race. Chris Buescher was running up front a lot of the race. So I think it was overall a good performance for RFK Racing. I don't think they could have expected to win the race like they dominated both duels on Thursday, but I think today was absolutely a promising showing. And I think the real test for them is how they're going to perform the next 3 weeks. Auto Club Superspeedway, Vegas is a 1.5-mile track that's about the quintessential NASCAR track because last season won there. We don't know what Buescher can do there. And then Phoenix is a track that we really have no idea what RFK is going to do. So I think this could good chance RFK, but the real test is going to be the next 3 weeks.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some things with this. This is the big debut of the next gen car. There were some instances in this race as well. We had a few wheels pop off. Kaz Gralla and the Money team popped off earlier in the race, and then Justin Haley had a little bit of an issue on there. Overall, let's talk about how this car did. How do you think this car did? And it also got upside down as well. Of course, we're talking about and Harrison Burton. Overall, how do you think this car did? This is we didn't expect that maybe things would happen. A lot of people were comparing it to the 2013 Daytona 500, how maybe it would do that, but who knows?
Right. I think for as far as my Snyder getting Burton it out, as fast as these cars are going, you can do everything you want with these cars. Eventually, they're going to turn upside down. It's just kind of an inevitable. When you got cars that are going 190 miles an hour, there's a very good chance they're going to go no matter what happens with them. I think the cars did a great job. Mike Snyder, just about everything was out of that car except for the cockpit, and he walked out of there for the most part unscathed. And all the drivers in the 500 that ended up in wrecks, they pretty much walked out unharmed. So I think that was a great showing for the new car. And I think we put on a good show. I think we're expecting a lot of freight train racing like we saw in 2013, which we got to remember was pre-stage. So it's not like 3 laps mattered. Every lap mattered where you could lead on lap 54 or 172 and still get the same number of points for 1 lap led. It put on a good show. I think there was more side-by-side racing, especially on that first stage with the Toyota cars being competitive. That was more than I expected to see. I think for the most part, it put on a good show. And for the most part, it wasn't mystery until about the last turn of the last lap. I really didn't have any idea who was going to win that race.
Yeah. I mean, I was nervous with like 30 laps to go. It's like, it got that feeling of what's going to happen. I really thought that Stenhouse was going to really get into that. And then, of course, he got into it. He got turned by the 6. And obviously that caused that.
Right.
But yeah, Austin Cindric, the car that Brad drove for so long, the 2 cars in victory lane. So that was good to see. But let's just put this Daytona 500. What's it gonna do leading into the West Coast wing? Because now the season really starts. Cup Series isn't gonna get an off week until June. So
yeah,
where are we gonna see with this West Coast swing?
I think for the most part the car was fairly tame. We only saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We only saw looks like 11 cars wreck out of the race with some sort of problem. Most of the cars are chartered, which isn't a great sign. But those big name teams are going to have extra cars that are going to be able to win. I think the car was more promising than the Gen 6 in its first couple of races. Remember, Denny Hamlin ran third in race in the Gen 6 era, and he blasted the car and ended up getting 5. I don't think we're gonna see that sort of aggression towards this new car. I think for the most part we're gonna be okay, and I think with qualifying and practice being back, I think these next 3 weeks are gonna put on a show.
Yeah. That's definitely gonna be something to watch for sure. Of course, you revealed on your space the picks for the week. You need to get your act together because you are in dead last in our preview show standings. So
yeah, I know. Even with a 6th place finish, my picks didn't do very well this week. So I had Grant Enfinger in the Truck Series.
Yeah.
Daniel Hemrick won the first 2 stages, but then fell down the lap. Was never able to get it back. Kyle Busch ran 6th today. I'm rolling safe this next week. I'm gonna go with I've got Kyle Larson winning here at Auto Club Speedway and Ty Gibbs in the Xfinity Series.
Stick with the Gibbs. Obviously, I will not reveal my picks until the preview show, which will probably air. Not sure when it's going to air. I hear our colleague Jonathan Fiel is going to be out in Auto Club Speedway, so we'll have to see on there. But he always wants to make his appearance on the show. So he gonna come on. We never know what could come. You never know who could come on with us. So who knows? But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the Daytona 500. Austin Cindric is your Daytona 500 champion. 41 drivers have now won the Great American Race.